won't be long now before gardeners are back outdoors tending to their gardens. Here with the dirt on an upcoming conference is University of Illinois Extension horticulture educator Ryan Pankov. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, it's stinking cold outside, but we can still dream about warmer days, yes?
Yeah, it's never too soon to start talking about gardening.
Oh.
And every year we plan this series of conferences that we call the Bi-State Conference Series with Purdue Extension. And so our gardening conference is coming up here next week.
Well, you know, I'm interested to hear about our connection with Purdue, because usually we aren't BFFs here in Illinois.
Well, not always in the sports world, but in the education world we are. And yeah, we've collaborated for many years on this before I started with Extension, and so it's a really fun collaboration. It involves, you know, experts from Illinois that we bring in, as well as Purdue, so we kind of have a bigger pool of potential speakers and topics.
Well, let's talk about some of the people that are coming, because these are some pretty important people and talking about some pretty cool things. So jumping worms, what are those? Those don't even sound fun.
Worms. Well, jumping worms that's a topic we should talk about in a different segment entirely, but it's an invasive earthworm that has been brought into the United States, and they're spreading. And how they impact us as gardeners is if you transplant plants out of your garden into someone else's, you can spread jumping worms. So
I didn't even know worms could jump,
learn all about them.
That's a whole new thing to me. And then it sounds like we're talking about exotic forest pests.
Yeah, that's the Purdue specialist that we have coming, Robert Bruner.
Okay, who's talking about the jumping worms.
Yeah, he's the specialist that'll talk about that, but that's kind of his area of specialty, yes, is like exotic forest invaders.
My bad. Difficult weed management.
Yes, that is a topic for every gardener, because you know the fun part is planting the plants, getting the garden established. In the long run, it's weed control that you've got to really deal with. So one of our local specialists, Michelle Weisbrook, right out of campus here from Illinois, will be talking about just some of the top weeds that you need to know as a gardener, how to control those, and a lot of other great info in her talk. Okay,
and then it sounds like we're talking about organic lawn care too. I know that's important to a lot of people as well.
Yeah, so that'll be Dr. Lee Miller from Purdue, who came from Missouri, so he's kind of worked across the Midwest and is an expert in turf management, and he'll be talking about ways to go organic with your turf this year.
Okay. I mean, as if these aren't exciting enough, can we also throw out where this is going to be held? Because I think that's a pretty big draw as well.
That is a big point. This is held like on the Illinois-Indiana border, so folks from each state have an equal opportunity to get there, but it's at the Beef House. So, you know, pretty great restaurant if you haven't been there. Famous for the rolls. That's one of the things folks love about the Beef House. But this, your conference registration includes these 4 presentations plus a great Beef House lunch.
Very good. So they do need to register because it's coming up very quickly on Tuesday. We gotta know how many rolls to prepare for.
Right. Yeah, we want folks to register this week if they can by Friday. So we've got a few more days, but next Tuesday will be the conference starting at 10 a.m. and that is Eastern time.
Ooh,
I always have to remind folks here in Illinois, we're changing time zones as we travel across the border. Okay,
very good. Which of those presenters are you looking forward to the most?
Well, you know, the one we didn't talk about that I am actually kind of looking forward to quite a bit is greenhouse production with Kelly Alsop. So she's one of our extension educators, and believe it or not, lots of these plants that we plant in our garden were started either as seeds or as small starts in a greenhouse, and so I just don't know much about that whole side of the production. So Kelly's going to kind of cover that.
So we're going to learn new things.
But it's hard to pick a favorite. I think all the topics are great this year.
Okay, so come hungry and ready to learn and be inspired to get that spring garden started. Thank you, Ryan, so much.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, if you want to learn more about that upcoming Bi-State Garden Conference happening at the amazing Beef House restaurant, we will have all the information and details on how you can get signed up over at ciLiving.tv.